Hi everybody, it's Emily with the Terrebonne Parish Library, and I'm back to tell you guys a little bit about this week in history. So on November 23rd, 1921, President Harding signed the Willis Campbell Act. So this was during the second year of Prohibition, and the National Prohibition Act didn't limit the authority of physicians to prescribe alcohol for medicinal purposes. And clearly, the Prohibition supporters saw this as a distressing loophole in the law. And so it's sometimes referred to as the anti-beer law or the beer emergency bill, and it permitted physicians to prescribe only wine or distilled spirits to their patients, neither of which could exceed 24% alcohol by volume. And it also limited the number of prescriptions the government could issue to a doctor to 100 per month, and it limited the total amount of alcohol that could be prescribed to any patient to 1 pint per person per 10-day period. Then on November 24th, in 1859, the English naturalist Charles Darwin published On the Origin of Species. This book radically changed the view of evolution and it laid the foundation for evolutionary biology. Darwin argued that the numerous traits and adaptations that differentiate species from each other also explain how species evolved over time and gradually diverged. So these variations in organisms are apparent in both domesticated and wild species throughout the natural world. Great observation there, Mr. Darwin. On November 25th, 1741, Elizabeth of Russia seized power in a bloodless coup with the aid of Imperial Russian guards in St. Petersburg, Russia. She is the second oldest daughter of Peter the Great and Catherine I. So Elizabeth took control of the country from her infant cousin after her uncle Peter II died. She stated that her policies would be a continuation and preservation of the achievements of her father, and she kept the promise made upon her ascension that she would not sign a single death sentence. And so the Russian banks were founded, and internal customs duties or taxes on goods that were passed between the different provinces of Russia and other petty charges were abolished, so that helped to create an all-Russian market and boosted domestic trade. So the tax reform helped to fill the government coffers, but the 7-year war with Prussia put severe strain on the Russian treasury toward the end of her rule. Then on November 26th, in 1948, the first Polaroid camera sold for $89.75 in Boston at the Jordan Marsh department store. The Land Camera Model 95 became the prototype for all Polaroid land cameras for the next 15 years. So scientist and inventor and founder of Polaroid Corporation, Edward Land, obtained over 500 patents before his death in 1991. And finally, on November 27th, in 1895, Swedish chemist Alfred Nobel's will established the Nobel Prize. And so, based on Alfred's work and patents, a whole new industry developed. Within 10 years, 16 explosive producing factories had been founded in 14 countries with Nobel as shareholder or co-owner. Alfred Nobel also had a huge interest in literature and art. He left behind a private library with over 1,500 volumes, and during his lifetime he acquired 355 patents worldwide, his most notable being dynamite. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something and have a great afternoon.